Alright guys, this is video number 3, and if you haven't seen 1 and 2, go back and check it out. And what I've mentioned before is I have been doing a bunch of videos for our internal crew here at Thrive. I'm doing a bunch of educational videos, a ton of other videos, but I thought some of these videos could be useful for you guys. So what I'm going to explain in this third video is all about implants versus bridges. So these are two different ways to kind of fill up the gap when you're missing a tooth. And same thing, at the end of this video, there's going to be some other educational videos which I'm not able to show on YouTube, but if you want, you can go to BiteBank. That's where I get all my videos. Hopefully you guys will be able to find some there that are useful for you as well. But hopefully this helps, and as you know, I'm putting out videos every single week. So please subscribe, and I hope you learn a little bit about bridges and implants. Alright Team Thrive, welcome back. So this is the third video, and this video is going to go into some different things, and it's really about how we fill gaps by missing teeth. So you know, sometimes people don't keep their teeth and they have to get them taken out, and so here's a couple things we do to kind of replace that. And why do we replace missing teeth? Well, number one, you need to eat. So eating is important. If you don't have any teeth, you can't eat. That is not very good. But number two is if you don't replace a tooth in time, there's a lot of negative effects that happen. And I try to explain this especially to ortho patients, and I know the dentists are trying to explain this to their dental patients, but this is what happens. And remember, at the end of this, I'll have some of those videos by BiteBank, and it'll help kind of make a little bit more sense when I'm explaining this. But let's get into this. So say I take out a tooth on the bottom right here, okay? And then the patient goes, you know what, I can't afford anything right now. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, I'm gonna afford it. I'm gonna get an implant or a bridge or whatever. I'm just gonna do it then. And we go, cool, that is okay, but here is the consequences of doing that. If you do not put anything in this spot, so say you have when you know the teeth now, say you have tooth number 29, that is gonzo. They had to take it out, it had a huge crack in it, they had to take it out, and we need to replace it. If they don't replace it soon, what happens is the tooth behind it and the tooth in front of it kind of fill that gap. Teeth, all they want to do is they just want to fill gaps. They just want to go in spots where it's going to be easiest to go. So the tooth behind it's going to come forward, the tooth in front of it's going to come backwards to kind of fill that gap a little bit. And maybe the tooth above it may come down as well to fill that gap. What is the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is if it comes forward a little bit and this comes back a little bit and this comes down a little bit, then instead of just replacing that one tooth with maybe an implant, easy peasy implant, you put it in, it's done, you may need to get braces to open up the space or some other device to open up this space and push this tooth back up. So instead of taking out the tooth, putting in the implant, boom, you're good to go. Now you might need to do a full orthodontic treatment. And let me guess, or you can probably guess, that is more expensive. That's why we try to help patients along initially and kind of educate them and let them know if they do something now, they're going to be saving a ton of money and a ton of time. But sometimes we aren't the best at conveying that, or there's some different situation where they're just not able to fill that gap at this point. So there's a couple options. If they can't fill that gap with an implant or a bridge, what if they have a couple gaps? Maybe we need to, and happens, maybe they need to take out a couple teeth, a tooth here, here, and they're missing a couple back teeth. What are some options? Well, you could do implants, that's great. If they're able to get implants, that's great. If they're able to get bridges, that's good too. I'm going to explain that in a second. But a third, more affordable option, if they're missing a bunch of teeth, is something called a partial denture. And what that is a partial part of a denture. So denture, you guys probably know, maybe, hopefully don't, but you have some grandma or grandpa or somebody that has a denture. That's when all the teeth are gonzo and they have this thing that they can take in and out. If you've ever had or known somebody who has a denture, you know they suck. They're the worst. They come in and out. They don't stay that good. You need to use all this adhesive and they suck. So we try everything in our power to make sure that patients do not get dentures. Everything in our power to make sure they don't get dentures. But a partial denture is when you're missing a couple teeth and you do the same thing. You give them something they can take in and out, and it's latched on to the teeth that are still there. So it's definitely better than a denture, but it's definitely not as good as a bridge or an implant. So once again, that's something you can take in and out, way more affordable than a bridge or an implant. So that is something you can do in the meantime. If they say, hey, you know what, I can't do anything right now, but maybe I want to afford something in a year or two, you say, cool, have you thought of a partial? Partial is those things you take in and out, more affordable, not as good as the alternatives, but something to hold you over. That's a partial. Okay, so now how do you differentiate between the better options, which are a bridge and an implant? So, a bridge, let's start off with that one. That's probably the one that you're a little bit more familiar with now that you've seen how crowns are prepared in the previous video. A bridge is something that we use to fill a gap. So say you have the same thing, tooth number 29 that's gone, you would prepare tooth number 30 and tooth number 28, and then you'd put a crown on those. So you basically use those two adjacent teeth as kind of anchors for that tooth that is missing. And I'm gonna have that infographic here, so it's gonna make more sense. But what are some of the negatives and pros with implants and bridges, but mainly bridges right now? Some of the pros are it's pretty quick. So just like a crown, you prepare those two teeth, in a week or two, you get the final restoration, boom, you're done. Easy peasy. Another thing is if you maybe need a crown on these two adjacent teeth, then that's good. You're just gonna basically kind of like extend those crowns and make a bridge. So if you have large restorations, maybe bridges are better for you as well. They can do a little bit longer spans sometimes than an implant can do, and they last pretty long, so that's good. You know, they're relatively easy to clean. You need to use these like little floss threader things to clean them, so there's a lot of advantages. But what are the disadvantages? One of the big time disadvantages is if this tooth, say you want to do 29 again, we're missing that tooth. If 29 is gonzo, you have to prepare 30 and 28. So what if those teeth are healthy? Then you are drilling into healthy teeth for no reason. And that is actually a terrible negative effect of bridges if the other two teeth are healthy. So that's a negative effect. So that would probably be like the absolute worst part of bridges as if you compare them to implants. So let's go into implants. What's implant? How do they work? Are they better, worse? How's it work? So same example, tooth number 29, gonzo, we got to get it out of there. What do? All we do is we put an implant in that area, let it heal for 3 to 6 months, really depends on the patient, and you then put a final restoration on it. Sometimes when you're taking out the tooth, you're taking out tooth number 29, you can put that implant in the same day. That's going to be up to the dentist. Sometimes the area just does not allow you to do that, so you need to take out tooth number 29, fill it with some bone graft, and then wait maybe 2 to 3 months, and then put in the implant, and then wait another 2 to 3 months-ish, and then put on the crown. I'm pretty sure you can already see what the disadvantage is here. There's a bunch of disadvantages, but also advantages to implants. So let's go over the advantages. The advantage is, obviously, if tooth number 29, you need to take it out. You do not need to mess with tooth number 30 and 28. That is amazing. If tooth number 30 and 28 are healthy, why the heck would you want to touch them? You don't want to touch them. So that is a huge advantage. One of the disadvantages is it's slightly more expensive. At our offices, it's maybe, and this is going to be an estimate, roughly 600-ish, maybe to 800-ish, more expensive than a bridge. The other disadvantage is time, for sure time. So obviously like a bridge I just mentioned, it takes a week or two, you're going to be done. With an implant, it can be, the whole process can last up to maybe 8 months depending on what happens. You know, if you take it out, you put the bone graft in there, wait a couple months, put the implant in, wait a couple months, then you put the crown in, you know, potentially it can be 6 to 8 months depending on what happens. So it can be a long time. The other disadvantage is not every patient is eligible for implants. So with bridges, it's pretty straightforward. You have a space, you can prepare the two adjacent teeth. There's very few contraindications. You know, if the adjacent teeth aren't that healthy, maybe yes, but in general, tons of people have bridges. We've been doing them forever. Implants, not so much. Implants, I'm going to give a list of some contraindications, but basically if the patient isn't healthy, if they have diabetes, blood clotting issues, any bone issues like any cancers, leukemias, there's a bunch of different contraindications. If they're a smoker, big time, not very good. Those are some contraindications to getting implants. So you want ideally a relatively healthy adult to get that. Another contraindication is if you do not get the implant right away, and say that previous example, we're waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 years before we're going to get an implant. The bone around where that tooth was taken out shrinks, especially if they did not get bone graft. If they get bone graft, they have a fighting chance. If they did not get bone graft, it is going to be really tough. That's why we emphasize bone graft like crazy at our offices. If they're not getting bone graft, the odds of implant success in the future plummets like crazy. But so say they waited a couple years, that bone gets narrower, and then you can't just stick an implant into that bone. You have to think about it. You need to screw an implant into bone. If the bone shrinks and you're trying to screw an implant, it's just not going to work. So sometimes they are able to expand the bone, do all these crazy things to help give it a fighting chance of success, but that is definitely a contraindication if the bone is not big enough. So you can see it. There's a bunch of reasons why implants can be good and can be bad as well. And this will just help you have a little bit of knowledge on those 3 things that we can use to fill up gaps. So let us recollect ourselves and go through these options again. Probably the worst option, but most affordable, is some type of partial or flipper, they'd call it. With flippers is something that has less clasps. Partial or flipper that will kind of tie them over for a while. So that's a more affordable option, which is an okay option. Second option and third option are both have their pros and cons. A bridge versus an implant. A bridge, you have to prepare the 2 adjacent teeth, and in a week or 2, you get that final restoration. Boom, you're done. Implant, you put the implant in, you wait 2 to 3 months or 4 months, and then you put the crown on. Good thing with implants though is a lot of times they can last a really long time. The longevity of them most of the time is more than bridges. So as you can see, there's pros and cons to everything, and it's really going to depend on the patient and the doctor and what they feel comfortable with and what is best for the patient. All right, guys. So there you have it. You have a bunch of knowledge. This is the 3rd step in this video series. You've gone through a bunch. You know how to name teeth, you know the surfaces of teeth, you know what a cleaning is, you know what probing is, you know all the different restorations from composite to bridges to crowns, what a root canal is. You know now what bridges and implants and partials are. A last little thing, I'll show a couple of videos on extractions. Extractions pretty straightforward. I'm sure you know what it is. You take out the tooth. We like to put bone graft in there just to maintain the width of it. So now you have a great knowledge. You can come to our offices and just be the most amazing staff member possible. And remember, there is a quiz right after this. So get that 75% and good luck.